Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It is 5:07. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here. First day of July, halfway through the year, end of the second quarter, end of the third fiscal quarter of the government, and we're moving forward with one big, beautiful bill. What a night in the Senate. Vote-a-rama occurred. Some highlights there we'll share with you as the morning goes on. Also, there's some brand new laws in effect in Maryland today. Of course, it'll cost you more money to live in Maryland. Delegate Mark Fisher will join us at 7:05 to detail some of the insanity that we'll deal with. At 7:35, Phil Wegman covers the White House for Real Clear Politics. Give us an update on President Trump and what he's up to this week. And then at 8:05, old friend of the program, Brad Thor with a brand. It's summer, so we got a brand new Brad Thor thriller out. We'll talk to him about the new book, Edge of Honor, which I'm excited to say brings Scott Harvath back to the D.C. area for all the action. I love it when his books are based right here regionally. It's fun. That's all coming up. It's Larry O'Connor with Julie Gunlock. Happy July, Jules.
Can you believe it?
Nope.
Oy.
Nope.
So fast. Goes so fast.
It's flying by this year. And, well, you can listen, when you've got this much going on in the world, things do go by fast. It makes our job easier, I suppose. But sometimes you do want to just say, hold on.
I know.
Slow down.
Slow down, everybody.
Slow down. Although I had a very, very nice day with my son yesterday. Very slow paced.
Nice.
After work, we just sort of chilled, enjoyed the warm weather, such as it was, and just spent the day together. It was nice.
That's nice.
That it was a moment where things slowed down a bit.
Yeah, I had a nice day with my three boys. I yelled a lot. It was nice.
You really should be easier on them.
I know.
But they do deserve it. They are their father's son. We have an update on one of our favorite British authors, not named Bronte or Austen or
Thor.
Shakespeare. Or who you got?
Thor.
Well, he's not British.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I heard our favorite author.
J.K. Rowling, obviously, the author of the Harry Potter series and other things, I suppose, that aren't as good as the Harry Potter series. They're remaking all the Harry Potter movies. Did you see that?
Yes, because they have to remake everything because nobody has an original idea in Hollywood.
That's true. However, I will watch them because I love the books and I love the movies. And yes, it's fine. It's witchcraft.
So
how dare you?
They're literally remaking the original ones. Like,
they are because they're basically doing everything in the books.
And they need trans characters.
They're doing it as a streaming series.
And they need trans characters this time around.
There's no trans characters. This is J.K. Rowling.
Just wait.
It's J.K. Rowling, and that's the point of this story.
Well, hopefully she can control it.
J.K. Rowling has been one of the leading advocates for women. Actual women and defining women. It's like she was a woman of the left. She probably would still call herself a liberal woman. But this was a bridge too far, redefining what a woman is.
There is a lot of women on the left who see reason, like Martina Navratilova, who I butcher her name every time I have to say it, and J.K. Rowling, and a lot of sort of traditional, third-wave feminists who sit there and scratch their heads and go, I thought we were supposed to be fighting for women in women's spaces, and we have accomplished so much, and now that it's all torn down and nobody seems to object. And what's it torn down for? Men who cheat and men who have a fetish.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so J.K. Rowling has been a leading advocate. They call her a TERF, a TERF.
That's right.
That's a feminist who actually wants to protect women and little girls from, yes.
It is a trans exclusionary radical feminist.
There it is. And so J.K. Rowling said, hold on a minute. We fought all this time for women's rights and women's access to sports and all this stuff, and now we're going to relinquish it to crazy men who think that they're women. And she gets into constant online battles with people who go after her and attack her. And I can't imagine her security bill, Larry. One of the leading critics that J.K. Rowling has had to deal with online is a person named Stephen A. Ireland. Stephen A. Ireland has been relentless over the years in attacking J.K. Rowling. And J.K. Rowling is constantly battling and fighting back. She doesn't block people, by the way. She just retweets their criticism and argues with them in online debates, and she always wins because she has the truth on her side. Well, here's the latest about one Stephen A. Ireland, who has been plaguing J.K. Rowling on behalf of the transgender agenda. He is a founder of a pride group, by the way, back there in the United Kingdom. And here's the headline: Pride group founder jailed for rape of boy 12 years old. Man has been jailed for 24 years for raping an extremely vulnerable 12-year-old boy after the pair met on a dating app. This is the person who has been attacking J.K. Rowling for her so-called intolerance. As J.K. Rowling said on social media, Stephen Ireland, who targeted me with endless abuse on here because I oppose the chemical castration of children and the removal of protected spaces for women and girls, has just been sentenced to 30 years in jail for child rape. And she just left it at that.
Larry, if you saw any of the coverage of some of the Pride parades, and this guy, Stephen Ireland, is the founder of some UK-based Pride organization. If you looked at any of those Pride parades that happened just last week, these are deeply mentally ill people marching in these Pride parades and are promoting sexual deviancy and just absolute smut, which is why some sort of, I guess you'd say old school gay men like Rick Grinnell and others are saying this is just embarrassing now.
Normal gays, they like to call themselves.
The normal gays,
the
normies. These pride parades don't represent us, but I mean, this is a perfect example of how sick some of these people are that go after J.K. Rowling. They're scary,
right?
And they mean her harm, and they are obviously doing harm.
If people in the gay and trans community don't want to be called sexual deviants, then why, when they have their parade to celebrate who they are and the truth of their inner selves, is it basically reduced to being a parade of sexual deviancy? Because that's the only way to describe it. It's nauseating. J.K. Rowling, by the way, is now being attacked by Pedro Pascal. Why do they keep trying to make Pedro Pascal a thing? His greatest acting work was done behind a mask in Mandalorian.
What was that movie?
He was Mandalorian.
Oh, that's right.
He was
they're
Mando.
also trying to make him like this generation's Burt Reynolds. They do have some sort of likeness, but Burt Reynolds was so cool and funny and self-deprecating and charming. And Pedro Pascal is this, he's sort of this feminized version of a male hero.
Apparently, Pedro Pascal, I think, has a brother who is trans.
He does. He has a younger brother, significantly younger, like 20 years younger. And Pedro Pascal, his younger brother, who now identifies as a woman, says that Pedro Pascal was his guide through his transition. So Pedro Pascal, when he comes at J.K. Rowling, he might be dealing with a little bit of guilt about his own role in transing his own baby brother.
There you go. Yeah, he said to Vanity Fair, "Bullies make me effing sick. It's a situation that deserves the utmost elegance so that something can actually happen." I don't know quite exactly what that means. But Pedro Pascal is now attacking J.K. Rowling. Listen to the track record of people who attack J.K. Rowling over her position of truth. Is it ends up that they're actually got really, really tawdry, horrible, evil things in their closet. Maybe Pedro Pascal should just watch himself. As you're right, there's probably quite a bit of guilt there. J.K. Rowling continues, though, to be unapologetic about standing up for the truth, and good for her for doing so. And I think it says everything that you need to know when one of her leading critics has now been arrested for ruining a little 12-year-old boy's life.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
Yep, 80 degrees at Reagan National here at just 5:17 in the morning, and our humidity is up to 78%, Julie, over at Reagan
Why do
National.
I live here? Why do I live here?
Well,
why do I live here?
Actually, worse than that, according to the Capital Weather Gang, we are actually the most humid city in the world right now. You can't go anywhere on the planet without having as high a humidity as Washington, D.C. is experiencing right now. Every cubic meter of air is holding half a shot glass's worth of water as you walk through the day. I mean, it's impossible not to. My
son plays summer ball, and he actually they got out to the ball game last night, or got out to the field, and the other team had to forfeit. They didn't have enough players, and my son comes home, and he says to me, "I'm sopping wet." And I didn't do anything.
You didn't even play the game.
He stood on the field for a few minutes.
It's been described as, if you walk through D.C. right now, it's like walking through a bowl of soup. Oh. So I'm a sweater. I don't know if you know this about me. I perspire like nobody's. I have a weird internal body temperature thing, and I just get drenched. I'm
a woman. I'm a woman of a certain age, so I at random times.
Can I tell you? If I have to do an event in the summer where I have to wear a jacket and tie and a dress shirt, I have undershirts that have extra padding. To absorb the moisture. It's bad. I don't know why it is, and I'm training for a big race now, so it's like
you're going out. Aren't you running?
I'm going out and running every day. I ran 3 miles yesterday, and I ran in the morning.
Die.
I ran after the show.
Please don't die. I would be very annoyed.
But I will come back running in the heat, and I run by the water, so it's even sweatier. It's like all the moisture is right there. I come back, I shower, and I shower in a cold shower.
And you keep sweating.
And I keep sweating in the cold shower. Yes. And I will get out, and I have to lay under the ceiling fan, and I will continue to sweat. And Meredith is like, I don't understand. What is that? It's like, this is what I do. And so this is the worst. But I would rather be in how everyone says, it's a dry heat in the desert. No. I would rather be in 120-degree weather in Arizona.
100%.
Than 80-degree weather in the humidity.
Can I also just say something about D.C.? This is the thing. It's not that D.C. eases you into it. It's like you're going along. It's super nice. You can sit outside at night. Like, it's super nice. And bam! It's pea soup. Yep. It really is. And then you tell yourself, okay, I don't go outside until September. And September isn't that great either, frankly. September is pretty awful. I have actually gone trick-or-treating with my kids. It's cold out, but it's so humid that I'm sweating. Okay? So this area...
is a very weird area. It's a swamp,
Very weird area.
I don't know if you've heard that before.
I have.
We're actually built on a swamp.
Literally and figuratively.
It's bad. And you're right. It is like that around here. In fact, it was. I remember when it happened. It was June 20th this year.
Was it?
That weekend. Everything was fine. Everything was wonderful. In fact, I remember I had people in town in June, and I said, yeah, this is the best time of year. It's great. It's like, pretty soon it's going to get humid. And it was that week. It's the week of induction into the Naval Academy. It was the fun. And I just remembered because that's when it happened. Every year, it's around that time.
We have an additional problem. I think I told you. I mean, I think it actually happened during the show when a big, huge mulberry tree came down in my yard on my cars, and kind of busy couple weeks dealing with that. But that tree offered shade to the entire left-hand side of our house. And so now we have not only the humidity, but the sun.
Well, listen, we live in a world of superlatives. You always want to be the first and the best and the only and the greatest and so now, congratulations, Washington, D.C. Enjoy it, celebrate it, champion it, proclaim it to the world. You live in the most humid city on the planet. I mean, I guess short of, maybe the Brazilian rainforest. But I mean, maybe. Actual urbanized setting. Yeah, that's where you are right now. Enjoy it. It's 5:23.
Coming up, we've got an update on some Department of Justice news. They've just filed a lawsuit against the city of Los Angeles about its sanctuary city policies. Keep it here. We'll discuss. It's 5:30.
WMAL FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now. On 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It's 5:37. It's O'Connor and Company. First day of July. You made it through June. And now we're in the thick of it. Thanks for joining us here on a busy morning. At 7:05, Maryland Delegate Mark Fisher will join us to talk about some brand new taxes and license fees and rules and regulations and registrations and, well, bans. Let's not forget all the bans. Democrats run in Maryland. They love banning things. We'll talk about all of that going into effect starting today in the formerly free state of Maryland. Then at 7:35, Phil Wegman, White House reporter for Real Clear Politics. Did you see that picture of Trump wearing glasses, reading glasses?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, yeah. He's in the back of the Beast. He's reading something, and I've never seen him with glasses before. Yeah.
Very distinguished looking, I'm sure.
I suppose. Coming up at 8:05, Brad Thor, one of my favorite authors, really excels at writing the political thriller genre. He's got a brand new book out today, and it's set right here in Washington. Which I love it when they're in our backyard.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's all coming up. It's Larry O'Connor with Julie Gunlock. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
You know, when we spoke about the passing of Brian Wilson, we were reflecting on the fact that he wrote about and evoked the feeling of this sort of bygone era of L.A., Southern California. I don't know if California ever really was as amazing as the Beach Boys made it sound, but he definitely sort of helped create this mythology around being in SoCal. I remember as a kid growing up in Michigan, everyone wanted to go to Southern California. We all wanted to go to L.A. We all wanted to go to the beach. We all just wanted to enjoy that warm weather. And it's beautiful. I lived there. I did, in fact, as a teenager, move from Michigan to Southern California, and we loved it. It was great. Then people started electing Democrats. And boy, has it gone south pretty quickly. Bill Malugin from Fox News, who actually is an L.A. reporter. He used to be on the local Fox station there, and Fox News saw how good he was and picked him up nationally. He has a story out of the Justice Department. DOJ is filing a lawsuit now against the city of Los Angeles. This is great. This is huge. In fact, for those of you who have been paying attention to this program, whenever I have anybody from DHS or ICE or any of the CBP, I always say, how are we allowing these cities and states to continue with these sanctuary policies? Tom Homan's been talking about this. When we have Homan on, he said, Tom, they're breaking the law. These sanctuary policies are against the law, and they're all built on a myth. And he kept saying, Tom Homan kept saying, just wait. We're dotting our I's, we're crossing our T's. It's coming. Well, here it is. The city of Los Angeles now being sued by the DOJ, saying its sanctuary policies violate the Supremacy Clause by intentionally discriminating against the federal government by treating federal immigration officers differently than any other law enforcement. DOJ is asking that LA's sanctuary policies be enjoined, blocked from being enforced. And then Attorney General Pam Bondi put out a statement about it. I want to be clear here. Abigail Spanberger, running for governor of Virginia, has articulated the exact same talking points that Governor Gavin Newsom and L.A. Mayor Karen Bass have said. She'll make it sound, oh, no, we're not a sanctuary city. We're not a sanctuary state. But Abigail Spanberger was just asked about this the other day. She said, our local law enforcement should not be involved in enforcing federal laws. That's not their job. And that is an inappropriate use of our budget and of their responsibilities. It's like, oh, really? You know what? Robbing a bank is a federal crime. Are you telling me that you're not going to send the local police to go stop a bank robber when they rob the bank? It is such a lie.
How about the next time there's a natural disaster? On your own, guys. There's no reason for the federal government. Why should people in Michigan pay for Northern Virginia's disaster? Yeah. Suddenly she's all for states' rights and states taking it on themselves. Yeah, I don't think so. Nice
Will
line.
the
Nice talking point.
state police in Virginia not cooperate with the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office? Oh, no, that's not their jurisdiction. That's not It's an inappropriate use of resources. No. It is a lie. And the entire sanctuary mythology is built on the lie that if an illegal immigrant in this country knows that the local law enforcement is cooperating with ICE, then they'll be reluctant to go in and report a crime. That's how they sold these policies to a vulnerable and naive local liberal populace. Your neighbors in Alexandria are like, oh, yes, we have to have sanctuary policies, otherwise those brown people won't report crimes. It's all based on a lie.
Yes,
there has never once been any study that finds, or even anecdotally, that immigrants are less likely to report a crime because they think they're going to get deported. In fact, the lie is so insidious. There, in fact, is a special federal visa specifically for victims of crimes. So if you're in the country illegally and you're the victim of a crime and you report it, you actually have a better chance of staying rather than be deported. But these freaking liberal Democrats, instead of actually educating the populace and saying, don't be afraid to report a crime. If you're a victim of a crime, even if you're in the country illegally, you come to us and we'll actually protect you. Instead of saying that, they strike fear into the hearts of these immigrants and tell them that they're going to get deported, so they have to live with being victims. This is evil, what they've done. And now finally the Trump Justice Department is going after L.A. for it.
Yeah, and what's so sickening too, Larry, is that, for instance, in the Northern Virginia area, there is a lot of gang recruitment at some of the schools. And so you basically tell legal immigrants in this country who may live among the illegal immigrants and who may send their kids to schools that are overrun with gang members trying to recruit that, sorry, law enforcement doesn't care about you.
That's right.
Law enforcement doesn't care about you, and in fact, you should shut your mouth.
That's right. And setting up the cops as the enemy.
Yes.
It's evil, it's despicable, and Abigail Spanberger is just as guilty as Gavin Newsom on this. Understand that, Virginia. This lawsuit from the Justice Department, from the Trump administration, flying high on the success of multiple wins at the Supreme Court level, will change this forever. That's not the only thing that happened yesterday with regard to immigration. We'll tell you more coming up in a moment. It's 5:43.
WMAL, making sense of the roads, because traffic doesn't always follow the pattern. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
So while the Trump administration is suing the city of Los Angeles over their sanctuary policies, which of course will have a wide sweeping effect all over the region, including Maryland, including Virginia, and you've got the Democrat candidate for governor of Virginia doubling down on those very same sanctuary policies. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, who wants to be the president of the United States, has made a state proclamation deciding that June is Immigrant Heritage Month.
Has he asked the gays if he's allowed to take June?
Well, that's a good question. Oh, if you're a gay immigrant, you are gold in California.
Yeah.
Here's the best thing. He named it on June 30th. So you got to wait a year for it.
That's so weird.
That's the weirdest thing in the world. It's like, now that June is over, I can reveal that this has been Immigrant Heritage Month. California would not be the rich hub of culture and economic activity it is today without the influence of ideas, heritage, and history from around the world. Well, that's true. So let me just get this straight. We can now look back in the rearview mirror and recognize that the June we just experienced was Immigrant Heritage Month in California. And how did we celebrate? Well, we had illegal immigrants waving the flag of their origin nation, storming through the streets and setting cars on fire and demanding autonomy from federal laws. Okay, I guess that's one way to celebrate it or something, but that's how things look in California today versus the rest of the normal world. This has all got to reach a head at some point, and I don't quite understand. Honestly, I could be wrong, and maybe they see something going on in American politics that's different than what I'm seeing. But based on where we are right now and where it seems like we're heading, the Democrats continue to double down on the wrong side of every single one of these issues, Julie.
Yeah, and also I'm not sure you're seeing the Lisa Ling sort of clip here where she is promoting this idea that deporting illegal aliens is going to make nothing work in the country, right?
Yeah.
And this is the same reasoning that we see from The View and from other people who don't sort of realize how rude it is to say, like, who will pick our vegetables and who will clean our toilets. But Lisa Ling presented this to her daughter.
Yeah, so this is one of these very bizarre selfie-style videos that people do. Usually it's actresses or it's your neighbors, the liberal suburban women, where their child is in the back seat and the woman is in the front seat. The mom is in the front seat with an extreme close-up. And she's having a seemingly innocent conversation with her child, and her child is just answering as a normal child would answer. To please the mom. And then you have this extreme close-up on the mother's face as the mother is showing anguish and fear.
Right.
And they're so disturbed by the world that we're living in.
Yeah.
And it's all propaganda. And what you'll hear here between Lisa Ling, actress, journalist, former cast member of The View, in fact.
That's right.
You will hear what is basically brainwashing with her child. Listen, cut 3.
So, Ray, what happened yesterday at our favorite ramen restaurant?
There was only one worker.
Who was that worker?
The owner.
Why was the owner the only one worker?
Because of the situation of people getting taken to another country, and I think they're scared.
So the entire staff at the restaurant didn't show up to work, and this is the same restaurant that had the help wanted signs out for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? Do you think that the restaurant is going to be able to survive with no workers?
No.
And what do you think about the fact that workers are too scared to go to the places where they've been working so they can support their families?
I think it's sad, but I think it's whatever Trump has to do. It's not good.
Sad though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Larry, what I think is really sad is that this ramen shop that they love to go to thought he or she could just employ illegal aliens, probably pay them less and under the table, and get away with it.
Yeah,
that to me is really sad.
Yeah, she works for CBS News, by the way.
Of course she does.
As a journalist and news contributor, and that would be the next step there for the kid to say, "Well, mommy, maybe we should pay a few dollars more for our ramen so that the owner can't continue to enrich themselves, or maybe we should vote for Republicans who will lower the taxes here in Los Angeles so that the restaurant owner doesn't have to spend as much on all the regulations and fees that the city pays. And maybe we shouldn't exploit people from third world nations to make ramen for us, because, Mommy, why don't you just make ramen for us at home?
Yeah.
So that we don't have to exploit people who are coming to the country. But
nice.
That part of the conversation got edited out of the Instagram video. It's 5:53.